Are you training hard in the gym? You're lifting your weight, you're doing cardio, and you're eating clean, but you're still not getting lean and shredded. That means no abs, no muscle definition, just frustration. If so, I get it, my friend, because I've been there too. So what I would like to do in this video, I'm gonna share with you my Shredded Physique Calculator. This is something that I wish someone had shared with me when I was stuck and struggling. This tool is designed to help you figure out your current body composition, that's how much muscle and fat you have, set a clear physique goal, and create a nutritional plan to lose fat without losing muscle. I'll walk you through how to calculate your starting calories and macros, determine how much fat you need to lose, and map out how long it will take to hit your target body fat percentage in order to look lean and muscular. This will help you create your own nutritional plan that takes the guesswork out of getting shredded. Now, before I walk you through the calculator, let me share with you why I created it and how it helped me overcome the same struggles that you may be facing right now. If you'd rather skip ahead, there's no hard feelings, I get it. You can jump down to this minute right here and I'll walk you through the spreadsheet step by step. Let's go. I remember I used to bust my ass in the gym thinking that I was doing everything right. I cut out all the so-called bad foods, stuck to a strict diet, and trained hard. But no matter what I did, I couldn't get lean enough to see my abs and have that shredded look that I wanted. I was frustrated, confused, and if I can be honest, I felt defeated. It took me years to learn that the problem wasn't my training. I was putting in the work. The real issue was my nutrition. So I hired a coach and it worked, and I got down to 8% body fat and finally saw my abs and muscle definition. But here's the truth, I was miserable. I followed a super strict 6 meal a day plan. I battled hunger and cravings every single day, and I relied entirely on willpower to push through. Looking back now, the only reason why I stuck with it was because I had accountability from my coach and a clear goal in front of me, which was to compete. But here's the thing, I wasn't in control of my nutrition. My coach was. I wasn't learning how to manage my own nutrition or make adjustments. I was just following orders.
Yeah, eat it. Put it in your mouth and just eat it.
God, I hate it.
I don't care whether you hate it.
That's when I realized that something had to change. I didn't want to rely on someone else to tell me what to eat or how to hit my goals. I needed to understand how nutrition worked so I could take control of my progress for the long haul. So what I did was I dove deep into learning about calories and macros, how to create a nutrition plan that wasn't just effective, but was also sustainable. I wanted something that gave me structure and flexibility, a way to stay consistent without feeling restricted. Being former military, I thrive on structure, and as a former budget analyst, I love numbers and spreadsheets. That's how the Shredded Physique Calculator came to life. This tool gives me two things, clarity and structure. It shows me where I'm starting, what my physique goal is, and how long it will take to get there. It also lays out exactly what my nutrition strategy needs to be to achieve that goal. I wish that someone shared something like this with me when I was struggling. That's exactly why I'm sharing it with you here today. My hope is that it helps you gain clarity and gives you a solid foundation for structuring your own nutritional strategy. So now that you know why I created this spreadsheet and how it's helped me overcome the same struggles that you may be facing right now, let's go ahead and dive into the walkthrough, and I'm going to take you step by step through each part of the calculator so that you can see exactly how it works and how to use it to build your own nutritional plan for your cut phase. Let's get started. Now, before we get started, if you haven't already, click the link in the description to download your copy of the Shredded Physique Calculator so that you can follow along with me. This calculator is designed to guide you through a simple 3-step process to create your nutrition and cutting plan that's going to help you get down to 10% body fat. Take a look at the bottom of the spreadsheet and you're going to see 3 tabs. Step 1, desired physique goal. Step 2, calorie and macro breakdown. Step 3, your Shred Smart plan. Each step builds on the previous one, so it's important to go through them in order. Let's dive into step 1, decide your physique goal. All right, my friends, this is where it all begins, figuring out where you're starting and setting a clear goal for your physique. One of the biggest reasons I struggled to get shredded in the past was that I didn't have a clear end goal for my physique. I didn't know where I stood in terms of body composition or what body fat percentage I needed to hit to achieve that lean, shredded look. For most guys, that shredded look comes between 8 to 12% body fat. At around 12%, you're gonna see some ab definition and a leaner overall look. At 8 to 10% body fat, this is where your defined abs, meaning you'll have more defined abs, your serratus, interior muscles, obliques, and you'll just have a sharper, more shredded appearance. But before we can set that target, we first need to figure out where you're starting. Let me show you exactly how to do that. Step 1.1, estimate current body fat percentage. This step is all about estimating your current body fat percentage. This is the starting point for creating your plan, and you have two options to figure this out. You have option one, which is to use the Navy body fat calculator. If you have a measuring tape handy, enter your height, neck, and waist measurements into the cells provided. The spreadsheet will automatically calculate your estimated body fat percentage for you. Now, I just want you to keep in mind that this method has a margin of error of about 3 to 4%. It's not perfect, but it's a solid starting point to get an idea of where you're currently at. You have option two, use the body fat percentage images. If you don't have a measuring tape, it's no problem. Just refer to these images on the right and find the one that most closely matches your current physique. Note the percentage next to it and use that as a starting point. Now, let's address something that I've personally struggled with, and that is being honest with yourself. I know that it can be tough to admit that you may be carrying more body fat than you like. It's tempting to pick the lower end of a range because it feels better, but trust me on this, it's better to err on the side of caution. For an example, if you think you're somewhere between 16 to 19% body fat, it's better to choose 17% or even 19% rather than 16%, and here's why. Underestimating your body fat can lead to unrealistic expectations, and you might end up disappointed when you don't look the way that you want at your goal weight. So, take a deep breath, relax, and choose a percentage that feels honest and realistic. Remember, this is just a starting point and will adjust as you go. Now that you have an understanding of how step one works, let's fill it out. I'll use myself as an example. Since I have a measuring tape, I'm going to use the Navy body fat calculator. My height is 70 inches, and if you don't know how to convert it, if you look to the right, you can just enter your information here, enter your in feet and in inches, and then it'll tell you your total inches. And my neck is 15.5 inches. My waist is 34.5. So my estimated body fat percentage, according to the Navy body fat calculator, is roughly 18% or 17.5% body fat. Step 1.2, determine your body fat percentage goal. This step is where we'll use your body fat percentage to calculate your current body fat composition. Let's start by entering your current weight and estimated body fat percentage into the spreadsheet. If you use the Navy body fat calculator in step 1.1, enter that number it provided. If you use the body fat percentage images, enter the percentage that you selected. Okay, my current weight at the start of my cut was 195. I used the Navy body fat calculator and my estimated current body fat was 17.5, but I'm gonna round it up to 18%. Once you've entered your numbers, the spreadsheet will automatically calculate two key metrics for you. Lean body mass, this is everything in your body except fat. So your muscles, bones, organs, and water weights. And body fat, this is how much of your total weight comes from actual fat. If you're unsure what these terms mean, don't worry, I've added small black tabs in the corner of each cell. Just hover over them and you'll see a quick explanation to make it easy for you. Now, let's move to the section labeled where you want to be. This is where you set your target body fat percentage goal. Let's refer back to the body fat percentage images above and pick the level that best matches your desired physique. So how do you want to look? Here's a quick breakdown of what you can expect at different body fat levels. 12% body fat, at this level, you'll have visible ab definition and a leaner overall physique. Between 8 to 10 body fat, this is where your serratus anterior muscles and obliques starts to really pop. That gives you that sharper, shredded look. Anything below that, so below 7% body fat, this is elite level of leanness. It's achievable, but it requires precise nutrition, higher protein intake, and stricter dieting. While it's great for short-term goals or for competing, meaning getting stage level shredded, it's not sustainable for long-term, especially if you have no desire to step on stage. At this level, you're likely to experience very low energy levels, increased hunger, low sex drive, and reduced flexibility in your daily life. My recommendation is choose a body fat percentage that you've never been at before. So for an example, if you've never been as lean as 12%, set that as your goal. If you've never been 10 or 8%, aim for one of those. Once you achieve that goal, take a moment to assess your results and decide if you want to get leaner or you want to maintain where you're at. Once you've chosen your target body fat percentage, the next step is to enter that number into the spreadsheet. So for me, my goal right now is 10% body fat, so I'm going to enter that. From there, the spreadsheet is going to automatically calculate two key numbers for you: your estimated weight at your target body fat percentage, how much body fat you'll need to lose to reach your goal. These numbers give you a clear starting point and a realistic target to work toward, one that's directly tied to how you want to look. Now, keep in mind, this is just an estimation, okay? Everybody's body is different, and variables like water retention, muscle gain, or metabolic adaptations can influence your results. But the point here is to give you a clear picture of roughly how much body fat you'll need to lose to achieve the body fat percentage that you've selected. With these numbers I entered for myself, it shows that I need to weigh approximately 179 pounds and need to lose 16 pounds of fat in order to hit 10% body fat. By now, you should have a solid understanding of your current body composition and the body fat percentage you'll need to hit to achieve your desired look. Hopefully, this has given you better clarity on your physique goals. With this foundation in place, we're now ready to move on to step 2, where we'll create your nutrition plan and break down your calorie and macro needs. So let's get to it. Welcome to step 2, calorie and macro breakdown. In this step, we're going to create your nutrition plan to align with the physique goal that you set in step 1. By the end of this step, you're going to know your estimated starting calories, your macros including protein, fats, and carbs, to eat every day to lose fat while preserving muscle. This step sets the foundation for your nutrition plan to achieve your desired level of leanness. Now, before we dive into step 2.1, let me first start by saying that there's over 248 different BMR equations out there for calculating your calorie needs. For this spreadsheet, I chose the Harris-Benedict revised equation, and here's why. 1, it's widely used and backed by solid research. 2, there's no need for exact body fat percentage. Now, I know that we used the estimated body fat in step 1, but it was more about setting your physique goal rather than calculating your calories. And number 3, the ease of use. Unlike equations like the Cunningham equation, which requires accurate lean body mass measurements, the Harris-Benedict formula gives you a solid starting point without needing to know your body fat percentage accurately. Oh, and one more thing. Let's talk about activity levels. This is where many calculators goes wrong. Most calculators lump everything together, meaning your daily movement and your exercise into one category. This often leads to overestimated calorie needs. To help improve accuracy, I've separated daily activity levels like step count and general overall movement, and training activity like your workouts and sports. This two-step approach ensures that your starting calorie estimate is much more reliable. Now that we've covered the Harris-Benedict equation and the two-step activity level approach, let's go ahead and get started. This step is where you're going to enter your basic information about yourself, including your gender, age, height, and current weight. I'll enter my info here. I'm 43, 5'10", and converted into inches is 70 inches. And at the start of my cut, I weighed 195 pounds. You'll notice that there's some fields that are already grayed out, including your body fat percentage, lean body mass, and body fat. They're automatically pulled over from step 1, so you don't need to enter anything into those cells. Next, select your daily activity level based on average step count. For me, I'm going to select moderate. Now, enter your exercise training level. I currently train 4 days per week, so that's what I'm going to select. Once this information is entered, you're going to see the spreadsheet is going to automatically calculate 2 key metrics for you. Number 1, your basal metabolic rate, or BMR. This is the number of calories your body burns at rest to maintain basic functions like your breathing or circulation. Total daily energy expenditure, or TDEE. This takes your BMR and it multiplies it by your activity level to estimate the total calories you burn each day, which includes your daily movement and exercise. These calculations will appear automatically in their respective cells here, giving you the foundation for setting your calorie deficit in the next steps. Now that you know your BMR and TDEE, the next step is to determine your calorie deficit based on your weekly weight loss target. Let's move into step 2.2, where we adjust your calorie intake based on how much weight you want to lose each week. This step is critical because your weekly weight loss target directly determines the size of your calorie deficit. Take a look at the table on the right. It provides a breakdown of weekly weight loss targets, their associated calorie deficits, and who each one is best suited for. Take a moment and read through each option in the table to help guide your decision. My recommendation, I usually suggest starting with moderate or slightly aggressive. Personally, I prefer slightly aggressive, about 1.25 pounds of weight loss per week, because it strikes a good balance between steady fat loss and sustainability. Now, let's select your weekly weight loss target into the spreadsheet. For this example, I'm going to select slightly aggressive. Once you've made your selection, the spreadsheet will automatically calculate your target daily calorie intake, adjusting for the calorie deficit needed to meet your physique goal. Once you've completed this step, you're ready to move on to determining your macro breakdown in step 2.3. Now that you have your weekly weight loss target and determine your daily calorie intake, let's move into step 2.3, determining your macros for cutting. Before we start, take a look at the table on the right under protein requirements. This will help you decide how much protein you should aim for based on your preference. Personally, I like a moderate protein intake around 0.9 grams per pound of body weight because it allows for more flexibility in my food choices. With this approach, I have a bit more fats and carbs to work with, which makes my diet more enjoyable and sustainable. That being said, if you're not sure where to start, a good rule of thumb is to go with 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. This is a standard recommendation for muscle preservation during a cut and works well for most people. Once you've chosen the protein intake that works best for you, select it from the drop-down menu. I'm going to select 0.9 grams per pound of body weight. Once your protein intake is set, the next step is to determine your fat intake. Take a look at the table to the right labeled fat requirements. This table provides you with 3 options to choose from depending on your personal preferences. Personally, I like to start with 25% of daily calories because it provides a good balance for hormone health and flexibility while leaving enough room for carbs. If you're unsure which option to choose, I recommend starting at 25% of total calories. It's a solid middle ground that works for most people. Go ahead and select your fat intake. The spreadsheet will automatically calculate it in grams based on the calorie target that you set in step 2.2. If you're wondering, what about carbs? Here's the deal. Carbs are not considered an essential macro, unlike protein and fats, which your body needs to function properly. So you can technically live without eating carbs. That being said, carbs play a crucial role in fueling your workouts, maintaining energy levels, and supporting recovery, which is why they're still an important part of your diet, especially during a cut. Here's how we calculate your carbs. The remaining calories after setting your protein and fat intake are automatically allocated to carbs. If we scroll towards the bottom of this section, you'll see your target daily caloric intake, how many calories you're aimed to consume each day while cutting, your starting macros, your protein, fats, and carbs, this is where your carbs is calculated in grams, and your daily fiber intake. Fiber is important to track for overall health and digestion. A good guideline is to aim for 14 grams of fiber per 1,000 calories, and the spreadsheet calculates this automatically for you. So there you have it. By the end of step 2, you now have your calorie deficit based on your chosen weekly weight loss target, your estimated daily calories for cutting, your macro breakdown for protein, fats, and carbs, and your daily fiber intake to keep your digestion running smooth. Now that you've got your calories and macros dialed in, let's go ahead and move to step 3 and the final step. This is where we bring it all together and map out your game plan to getting shredded. Let's go. Before we jump into step 3, I want to say that if you've made it this far from step 1 to step 2, first congratulate yourself. Because I know it's a lot of work, and for some people this may be boring going through spreadsheets, but what you've just done is you've just created your own nutritional plan. And this is very serious because now you have the strategy in place to actually achieve the level of leanness that you want. So let's go ahead and move on. All right, welcome to step 3, your Shred Smart plan. In this step, I've made things as simple and accessible as possible for you. I've compiled all of the essential information we've worked through in steps 1 and 2 into this Shred Smart plan. This plan is your one-stop overview. It combines everything: your starting point, your physique goal, your estimated timeline, and your personalized calorie and macro breakdown all in one place. There's no need to bounce back and forth between tabs. It's all here for easy reference. Let me explain how this works. At the top, you'll see your starting point. This includes your current weight, body fat percentage, lean body mass, and the total body fat you're currently carrying. These are automatically pulled over from step 1, so again, you don't need to input anything in here. Next, you'll see your physique goal, or where I want to be. This is the body fat percentage that you selected in step 1 as your goal. Based on that, the spreadsheet calculates your estimated weight at the body fat percentage and how much fat you need to lose to get there. To the right, I've added those body fat percentage images again for reference. Use them as a visual guide to remind yourself of your target. Below that, you'll find your estimated weight loss targets and timeline. The weekly weight loss target you selected in step 2, your estimated monthly weight loss target, and finally, how many months it should take to hit your body fat percentage goal. This section is key because it gives you a realistic timeline to stay motivated and on track. You now have a clear roadmap tied directly to your physique goal. Lastly, you'll see your starting calories and macros for your cut phase. This includes your target daily calorie intake, along with your starting macros for protein, fats, and carbs. Again, I've also included your daily fiber intake, which is crucial for digestion, hunger management, and overall health during your cut. Don't forget the reminder at the bottom. These are just starting estimates based on the information that you've entered. As you track your progress, you will need to adjust your calories and macros over time. That's why it's so important to track your macros and gather at least 4 weeks of data. This will help you make informed adjustments based on your results. This plan is designed to make everything clear and actionable. It's your personalized blueprint to get shredded without the guesswork. So just to give you a quick rundown of the stats that I entered for my current cut phase. My current weight is 195. My current body fat is 18%. My lean body mass is 161 pounds, and my body fat is 34 pounds. Now, if I look to the right to where I want to be, My goal is to get down to 10%. So that means that I would need to weigh roughly 179 pounds. And it means that I need to lose roughly 16 pounds. If I look down at the estimated weight loss targets and time to reach, I need to lose roughly 1.25 to 1.5 pounds per week. My estimated monthly weight loss target is going to be between 5 to 6 pounds. And the estimated time to reach my body fat percentage goal is going to be roughly 4 months. So my starting calories and macros are below. So my target daily calorie intake is 2,300. My starting macros for fat loss is my protein is 176. And what I do is I'll round it up to 180. My fats are 64. I'll round that up to 65. And my carbs are 256. I'm going to round that up to 260. And my starting fiber is 35 grams. So now I have my Shred Smart plan in place, which is what I'm actually using at this current moment. All right. Hopefully this Shredded Physique Calculator was helpful for you. It's the exact same thing that I do to plan out my cut phase. I wish someone had shared something like this with me, not only to understand the numbers that are calculated, but also to set a clear physique goal and have a realistic timeline of how long it will take. Now, if you found this video and spreadsheet helpful, please do me a favor and like this video and leave a comment below if you have any questions. I'm gonna make sure that I go through each one and that I answer them. Again, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.